Alright, good afternoon everyone. I know I didn't upload yesterday, so I'm going to make a slightly longer video today going over what happened here. So, I'm going to just be honest here. Yesterday, I failed the eval. Like, I completely blew the account, right? I lost about like 3 trades in a row on one mini, and then poof, right? Failed the eval. It's a 100k static, so I lost about 625, and that fails you the eval. So I went ahead and just bought the reset, and yesterday I was definitely impulsive over trading, and I was in that mindset of, okay, let me get this over with type of thing. So right, should have sized down in high vol, should have understood, right? We went over the top of book liquidity. It's very thin, so this is where you get gappy price action, and it's like it's skippy. So yeah, just failed it completely, really. And what was happening was I was also, again, directionally the bias was wrong, right? I was trying to go long in that market, right? Because it's sort of like a default. So I was looking for longs, kept getting killed every time. So let's go over today. So today I worked on just sort of flipping my bias to short, right? Because I think the tapes hit. And I was also looking at entropy mostly on the 15-minute. And I'm seeing that we're in this high entropy regime, right? I have volume entropy here using percentile. It tells you about, okay, it ranks in these upper percentile values, and then price volume entropy using quintile. So here you can see low entropy, red is high. So with today, I went ahead and switched my bias, and I was looking for shorts today. And I was mostly just going to the lower time frame, right, and looking at, okay, are we in a downward sloping structure, and am I buying these potential, UTADs, and am I buying these potential UTADs or tests to the highs, and has it selling off, right? So price is moving very quick. We're in a high. A slightly higher VIX regime on top of the low liquidity. So here are the results for today. Unfortunately, I didn't really do a great job with sizing. Right, I sort of, pussy sized today and went ahead with the micros. So you can see here, here are the results. I had about a 58% win rate, 41% loss. Average win versus loss is very good, though. You can see $40 average win, right? That's a very good RR. So you'll notice, and I also wasn't, holding these trades for very long, right? 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 1, 2, 2, and then seconds, right? Because I was sort of glued to the 1 minute, and unfortunately it happens. That's a mistake because the 1 minute just triggers so much dopamine. Like every event you watch on the 1 minute is like, oh my god, boom. Like, did the spring succeed? Oh my god, is the upthrust failing? It just happens so quick. So I think your brain really gets a dopamine hit from it. So, the results are fine. I'm not really thrilled with them, because I should have sized better. I should have been at like, between 4 and 6 micros, I think, right? Half the size of a mini, which I didn't do. And also, I was trading the NQ, which the multiplier is a lot bigger. Well, it's not a lot bigger, but it's just there's a bigger multiplier than Russell and the ES. So, the results are okay. Um, and yeah, I basically just sort of looked here at, okay, you can see here on the daily, right? I think in the tell was, okay, here's the spring, right? Yesterday was a giant daily spring. I have these volume candles turned on. If there's no continuation and it starts failing, that's a very bad sign, because they have to go and search for new liquidity, and the systematics are selling, and the top of book is thin. So let's see if it holds this area, because again, I've anchored it, and this is where all the liquidity is, right? We're sitting at the VPOC. Again, if it doesn't hold 681.7, don't look for longs. Okay, there's another, because then it has to go search for liquidity where another $10 lower. Okay, and this is the floor, right? Because this is where the volume point of control is. And on top of that, we're in a very high entropy regime. So these are tougher trading environments. Okay, I was looking at footprint as much as I could when I was buying, and not as much the volume profile. Today was mostly about like the lower time frame, the footprint, and really trying to be a bit more flip-flopping. Again, I expect for the rest of the day, typically what happens in the afternoon is everyone's sold, so it takes very little effort and little volume to bid price up. So the volume should start drying up. Okay, we can switch over to maybe like a 2-hour regular trading hours to see, okay, the type of volume. Maybe let's go to the 1 hour. So we have 12 million, 9 million, 12 million, and we're at 2 million. But this candle is, yeah, okay. Well, again, we'll see what happens with the next hour. Again, that's just what typically happens in the market, where everyone's tapped out, right? Everyone's lost money. Everyone's out of cash. So there isn't enough volume anymore. So I would expect them to be, the composite operator, to be able to really scoop it up and bid it up maybe another $3 to $4, right? Because again, it would be, if it doesn't hold here, right? Because it's testing in another area, right? You have this volume candle here, right? Aggressive buyers. This is where the composite operator was aggressive and began the initiation. So it's testing in this area. If it breaks this VPOC and doesn't hold 78, I mean, we're fucked. Everybody's fucked. Okay, like, this thing is gonna go. It's gonna be the start of a severe correction, or a bear market, because the systematics and the pensions and everyone is just gonna sell. I'm not a macro guy, so I don't really understand the liquidity, so I can't tell you, okay, the liquidity. The only way you get this and can call, okay, if it's not going to go up or not, is if you understood the liquidity. But right now, just going off the tape, it really needs to hold this area. Yeah, okay, and then, so that's about it. I'm just going to go over a few other stuff I did yesterday. I didn't really change my routine. I do the same, crap, like, for the love of God, I take a shower in the dark because it regulates your nervous system. But again, yesterday was just very impulsive. I think it was me just wanting to get it over with. I had this is taking too long, let me just buy, and that led to me over trading, blowing the account, etc. And then I had my normal breakfast, where I have an egg on toast with avocado, like 2 to 3 eggs. and then I have either black coffee or some type of tea. Okay, and then once I have that tea, it's funny, the tea's right there. I go ahead with the supplements, so then I'll do lion's mane, and then ashwagandha, and then some creatine, and then I have another one. I just started taking it, so forgive me for not recalling it, but another one in the afternoon, and then some more ashwagandha in the afternoon. I don't do another lion's mane or creatine right now. And then usually around noon I take like a break. I do a walk, and then I told you I do that, I'll do a 5-minute warm shower in the dark, and then I do the cold shower for the dopamine. Because again, when you watch the lower time frame for the first like 2 hours of the day, it really does fatigue your brain. If you're watching the 1 minute, it just, every candle is like, just does some shit to your brain. Like, you just sort of, you really do feel it. It's just like this constant dopamine hit. So yeah, other than that, I think that's really all we can go over. Maybe there's something on zero hedge. So again, decent results. I'm not really happy with the sizing, but that was the results. And then yeah, again, I'm gonna be very bearish. I'm gonna be bearish unless we hold this level that I'm watching on the daily, right? This is very important here. I don't care about your 200-day MA. I'm looking at, okay, can the volume entropy start declining, right? Because what does the low volume entropy means? The composite operator can push price up smoothly. They can buy in increments, and it's not, buying at this level, then skips here. When the entropy is high and you get, low or thin top of book liquidity, this is terrible conditions for buying. Like, this is not smooth price action, right? People cannot accumulate that easily. You can't do a spring, right, in phase B to C and then have it jump above the creek and then back up to the edge of the creek. This is great for distribution, right? Price is moving very fast. There's volatility, and people are unable to get in and out at prices they like. It's very important to set limit orders in this environment, because you will get killed with market orders, especially in again, high entropy and thin liquidity, thin top of book liquidity. This is a tough regime to trade right now. Okay, so yeah, I think that's about it. We could also look at maybe the anchored VWAP here. Quarterly VWAP is saying, okay, we're below it, but we're not outside 2SD here. So let's see if it holds. If it does hold today. Again, I really just want to see it hold this low at 81.9. If it breaks that, get out, because it has to search for new liquidity. It has to search for new liquidity in high entropy. So you won't have an edge unless you're shorting, because you'll get in, price will start skipping, gappy, right? The composite operator can't buy in these small increments, right? They can't buy in a penny, then a next penny, and then the next penny, because entropy is telling you, oh, it's skipping, it's moving around too much. Okay. But yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, yesterday just blew the account, but let's see how the rest of the week goes. All right, take care, everyone. Bye bye.